Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, it is the 1005th day of the invasion, and jumping right into it. Operational information as of 10 p.m., November 23rd, regarding the Russian invasion. Oh, this is going to be a good one, I can already tell tonight. Okay, I need to stop pedaling while I'm talking to you guys. The defense forces continued to courageously hold the defense of Ukraine. Since the beginning of the day, there have been 224 combat clashes. Again, 224. Almost 100 more combat clashes today than yesterday. The enemy has carried out 37 airstrikes using 48 anti-aircraft missiles, more than 270 kamikaze drones, and more than 2,000 artillery strikes on the positions of our troops and populated areas using various types of weapons. I'm going to cut out here and go to a news story because I just want to put into contrast here what mainstream media is doing. Of course, New York Times paywall, but the headline is Hezbollah fires 250 projectiles into Israel after strikes in Beirut. 250 as a massive attack. Russia used more kamikaze drones than that. Almost a factor of 10 for artillery strikes. 48 missiles. And this is every day. Most of you will know by now the number of artillery strikes is in the 3,000 area. Kamikaze drones are usually 400 to 600. That's every day. And New York Times is ranting about 250. Front page headline news. Okay, rant over. KKGG, good to see you. Ronnie, good to see you. Lynn S, hello there. Nikki Hill, good to see you. Aussie T, how's it going? Oi, oi, oi. Colby, good to see you here. Thank you all for coming, and let's get into the updates. Again, mistranslation. In the Kharkiv direction, there were 13 combat clashes with the Russian invaders. 11 attacks in Voschansk and Truka regions were repelled by Ukrainian soldiers. 2 more are ongoing. I got more on that later. Let me just bring this up really quick and get to my channel on Utopia. Okay, I had a couple videos lined up for you for later. I just wanted to make sure I had that set up for us. Of course, Bachansk is here, but that other town, I'm not sure where it is at. I'm not seeing it offhand either. Maybe it's one of the ones I have to zoom in for. Yes. So Tukhi. Okay, Tukhi. So a small settlement right here, right next to Volchansk. In the Kupiansk direction, the enemy tried 12 times to dislodge our units from their occupied positions near Hushlivka, Sinivka, Zarovi, Novoplatunivka, Kindorovska, Peshkani, and Zelenigay. Of course, the assaults have been stepping up in this area. Khrushchevka is here. Hushlivka is there. Slonkova, Lazova. It always says I have issues. Zeleny guy. And this is the cutoff for Lamansky direction. And in the Lamansky direction, 17 times the enemy attacked, trying to advance in the directions of Drusovolbivka, Drudrohulbovo. That one's a hard one and a new one. I'll have to try and find that. Novoyehorovka, Grivka, Novomykolaivka, Ternakivska, Kopanok, Yampovlivka, and Turniv. In addition, the enemy carried out airstrikes with unguided missiles in the settlements of that new town. Well, that was a tough one. Let's see if the spelling's better on here. And of course, Novoihorivka is here. Cherniivska is here. Druzlvivka is here. Rarivka, Novomakivka, Novolubivka, Turny, Torsk is over in this direction. I don't see the name of that new town they were talking about. No. Yeah, I'm not seeing that new town they're talking about. I'll have to look that up and see where that's at. Unfortunately, I don't see it right now. I'll have to look that town up and see where it's at. Our defenders repulsed one enemy assault in the Slavisk direction in the Bilohorivka area. Let's just cover that one really quick. Bilohorivka, and of course the risk is here. Not much has changed in months in this direction. Ukraine is holding a strong defense. Does not mean that Russia is not trying. In the Kramatorsk direction, Russian invaders attacked the settlement of Chasiv Yar with unguided missiles. The enemy carried out 3 assaults on the positions of our defenders. The activity of the occupiers was manifested in the areas of Stupochny and Chasiv Yar. All attempts of the enemy to improve their position were stopped by Ukrainian soldiers. And of course, Chasiv Yar and Stupochny, and these piles of mine tailings are a significant advantage for Ukraine in both of these settlements, and is pretty much the only thing stopping Russia from advancing into in towards Konstantinivka in this area. Go into Toretsk next. Excuse my pronunciation. Let me scroll this up so I'm looking more at the camera. By launching airstrikes on Toretsk, Nepivka, Katrinivka, and Ivanpol, the enemy twice tried to penetrate our defenses in the Toretsk direction in the vicinity of the settlement of Toretsk. Again, no updates according to Deep State in this area, but Russia is trying to push into this small settlement area on the outside of Toretsk. Ukraine is still holding. Again, these provide such a height advantage. It is a key thing to hold the debris from the mining operations in the area. Moving on, and we get into the hotter areas today. The enemy is intensively attacking Ukrainian defenders in the Pokrovsk direction. Here, during the day, the aggressor carried out 55 offensive actions. The Russian occupiers are most active in the districts of Promin, Lusivka, Krutovyar, Mirnograd, Hirohorvika, Mirolubivka, Dashenki, Zetov, Pushkinte, Petrivka, and Pushinka. In total, Ukrainian defenders have already repelled 49 attacks in the direction. 6 more are ongoing. The situation is difficult but controlled by the defense forces. Our soldiers are making efforts to prevent the enemy from advancing deep into Ukrainian territory. And of course, it's been a struggle in this area, to say the least. Of course, Milnograd and Pokrovsk are basically 2 cities connected. They kind of almost merged together. Pokrovsk is the main one because of the railroad and roads that come in and out of this area. It's a major supply hub for Ukraine, and it will be if Russia is able to take it over. Of course, the settlements they were talking about: Mirolubivka, Milnograd, Promin, Sukovlyar, Lysivka, Petrivka, Pushchenka, Zatovi, and Pushkini. Russia has made advances according to Deep State in this area, adjacent to the rail line here, and you see they've taken control of the village of Yurika and have pushed down towards Zory. That is actually covered in the next zone. But before we go into that zone, an older video was just released. Zoom in here to Seladov, and Ukrainians were filming as they were driving into Seladov before it was captured, and it's a brief video of what happened along this road. Let me grab that. I'll get rid of this. And if I can get it to show up on the right screen, it'd be much better. And before I start this, this is, everybody talks about the Russian meter, the Russian world, And this is Russia trying to make everywhere else look like Russia. Um, you'll notice that there isn't a building without damage in this area. Um, Let me just play it for you and let you see for yourself. Yeah, okay, I apologize. Um, just need to stop showing videos, I think. Unfortunately, Discord doesn't work. ABS mutes the Discord, so I don't hear it. Uh, it wouldn't be a Canty stream unless I messed it up, huh? So, anyways, going back, 25 skirmishes in Vermitsk, Velika Novosibirka, Novodorivka, Turov, Suviyali, Rozdolny, Konstantinopolsky, and Rivnopil. I'm saying, unfortunately, that these two directions are merging, and it's disheartening for me to see these small villages get overrun by Russia. My heart is in these small villages. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in love with all of Ukraine, but these small villages where everybody's close knit and like families have lived in the same house for many generations just sits in my heart more than others. I don't know how to explain it more or better. Oh yeah. I need to figure out a way to put chat like right here. So I have to see it. Maybe I'll just do that. The enemy did not conduct active operations in the Hulipol direction. The settlements of Trmivka and Zeleny Pol in the Orhip direction were bombarded by 6 guided aerial bombs. Oh, see, that doesn't even work because as soon as I click over, it hides it. Hulipol, Orhiv, and Nova Andrivka is here, but where is that other settlement that they were talking about? Trmivka and Zelenipol. Trmivka. So Dorishka, maybe this one. I'm not seeing the other one offhand. Being a glide bomb, it could be anywhere in this whole area, even a smaller village. So I am not sure where it is. Another one I'll have to look up later, unfortunately. In the Dnieper direction, our soldiers repelled the attacks of the Russian invaders on the positions of the Ukrainian army 5 times. They don't give specific villages. There were no significant changes in the situation in other areas. Again, when they talk about the Dnieper, they are basically covering this entire area of the old reservoir. And I just assume the attacks are happening in this area. Today, it is worth noting the soldiers of the 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade, the 92nd Separate Assault Brigade, 13th Operational Brigade, and the 65th Separate Mechanized Brigade, as well as the 124th Separate Territorial Defense Brigade, which, in under extremely difficult conditions of the attacks of the enemy's superior forces, are restrained and causing them irreparable losses. Glory to the Ukrainian soldiers, glory to Ukraine, and of course, Heroям Slava. And I'm not sure if this is a training video or what, but it kind of looks like they have incoming fire while sending out rounds. I'll have to ask my contacts and see if that video is just training or if it's in a frontline position. That covers the operational information for today. Being Sunday, Zelensky put out another week of Russian terror video. And let me play that for you right now. And of course, yes, Ukraine needs more air defense. That is what is happening and being hit every week by the Shaheeds and the missiles launched by Russian drone, launched by the Russians. Before I get into Zelensky's speech, I want to bring up one thing. These are MRAPs. 26 of them have been delivered to Ukraine. Unfortunately, it is only 26 of the 400 that Germany has promised. The delay is reportedly due to untimely U.S. permission to export automotive components. Yeah, that Germany not being able to provide what they promised because we're not giving permission to export components. Germany says that it anticipates the remaining vehicles will be delivered in 2025, but still, this is literally how the U.S. and the West is letting Ukraine down. We promise this stuff. We say we're going to send it, and then it doesn't get sent. You know, at the last update I seen, there's $7.1 billion worth of aid that has been already voted on and sent to Ukraine that has not been approved. Or it has been approved, but it has not been sent yet. There's another $20 billion in a loan guaranteed by frozen Russian assets that has been approved and not sent by the U.S. Unfortunately, you can't yell at our congressmen or our senators because they already said send it. It is literally the administration and like military people that are holding these up. So shove a foot in Biden's butt and let's get this stuff done. Ugh. Going through Zelensky's speech in Ukrainian without subtitles, and then they translate everything and do the subtitles for every day. You see, they dropped this video at 11:49, and then the translation's done half hour, 45 minutes later.
Дорогі українці, українки.
Oh, I thought my voice sounded bad. This man has been doing so many speeches. It's insane. Okay, I'll have to look into that, Golby. I just saw your message about the pop-out chat window. Okay.
Дорогі українці, українки, всі наші партнери наприкінці тижня, коли Росія зробила ще один крок на розширення війни, вдарила по Україні новою ракетою, важливо для нас відзначити і подякувати усім тим, хто зробив нові кроки на підтримку нашої держави, людей нашого життя. Україна має друзів, має на кого спиратись, завдяки цьому може відповідати на російський терор і захищати життя. Є нові оборонні пакети за цей тиждень. Данія – близько мільярда крон. Це кошти, які підуть у нашу оборонну промисловість. Норвегія підготувала перший транш, який за данською моделлю підтримує виробництво зброї, саме виробництво в Україні. Швеція також приєднається до фінансування за данською моделлю. Сполучені Штати Америки є пакет на 275 мільйонів доларів, і це снаряди для хаймарсів, а також джавеліни, дрони та міни, які нам дійсно потрібні для захисту наших позицій, передусім на Донеччині. Є також новий пакет від Німеччини, є новий насамс від Канади. Дякую за кожен такий крок. Не менш важливі санкції. Цей тиждень дав нам нові санкції Сполучених Штатів проти Росії, дуже дієві, проти банківського сектору. Це те, що відчутно послаблює путінську систему, і це те, чого потрібно більше. Він має втрачати постійно, щотижня можливості фінансувати цю війну. І як би Росія не шантажувала всіх, кого може, треба не втрачати рішучості, треба тиснути, і тільки так реальний мир стане ближче. Сьогодні Служба безпеки України, Міністерство внутрішніх справ показали інформаційним агенціям уламки російської ракети, яка ударила по нашому Дніпру. Зараз тривають експертизи, робота з партнерами для встановлення всіх деталей і всіх характеристик щодо цієї ракети. І для того, щоб разом знайти відповідь на цей російський ескалаційний крок. Світ має системи протиповітряної оборони, здатні захищати, і від такого треба на цьому зосередитись усім. Росія повинна відчути, що кожен її крок на розширення війни має для неї наслідки. Наслідки у наших діях на фронті, наших воїнів, наших підрозділів, а також наслідки у діях світу. У тому, як світ відповідає. Не можна давати Путіну жодного тижня, щоб адаптуватись та знайти протидію. Потрібно постійно робити все, щоб Росія була змушена шукати можливість миру, справжнього миру. І це досягається тільки двома речами: допомогою Україні і тиском на Росію. Дякую всім в світі, хто саме так робить, хто з нами, з Україною, з українцями. Дякую всім нашим людям, які воюють, які працюють заради України. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. And I can't really add anything. He said it all. Air defense. Air defense. Air defense. And air defense. I don't know what else to say. Total combat losses of the enemy, November 24th, 2024. 1,005 days of the war. 1,020 personnel, bringing the total over 730,000. 4 tanks, 17 APVs, 5 artillery systems, 1 UAV, 14 vehicles, and 1 special equipment. I hate to say this, but I'm expecting these numbers to jump up significantly tomorrow, because going into the news, and they redacted the 4 p.m. update for today. Yeah, someone forgot to do formatting. That's just a big wall of text. My dyslexia will not let me read this whatsoever. IHL trainings are conducted with an emphasis on practical modeling of possible problem solutions. Okay. Okay, I don't know what IHL norms are. I'm guessing it has to do with modernization of the Ukrainian army to bring it more in line with NATO standards. If you guys want to read that, you know where to go. Again, they publish loads of side stories every day, not just the operational information. British instructors teaching Ukrainian servicemen to defuse mines. For Saturday of November, Ukraine commemorates the victims of Holodomor, mass artificial famines between 1921 and 23, and 46 and 47. I went into that in depth on a previous stream. Just one thing I wanted to bring up from Wikipedia. They don't really even know how many victims there were. Initial estimates said 3 to 5 million. Some are saying 7 to 10 million. I've seen other estimates as high as 15 million people. The cause of the famine was man-made. But there's one part in here that I wanted to point out, and see if I can find it here. So here's broken down by oblast by official numbers, but these official numbers can't even be trusted. So 1 million in Kyiv Oblast, 1 million in Kharkiv Oblast. So I can't seem to spot this offhand. I should have prepped this. I didn't think about doing it. But there was a see 1937 census. The Soviets held the census in 1937, right after Holodomor. It showed a population growth from 147 million in 1926 to 162 million people in 37, but they were expecting populations like in the 185 million. Growth of the population from 160.5 million at the end of 1930 to 168 million by the end of 33. One should have expected to have a population of about 180 million in 1937. So the census showed a population of 170 to 172 million. But there's the main story I was looking for, and I can't seem to find it on the other page, is in Kyiv, the city, not the oblast. The street cleaners reported something like 9,000 bodies were picked up from the streets in a single year. But only like 3,000 of those were reported as deaths. As people that had died. The rest kind of just disappeared and were never accounted for in the official death toll for Holodomor. So it kind of gives you... I wish I could find that part of the... I wish I could find it to show you guys. I know it's in here somewhere, but it just... Sorry, I'm trying to just spot the number so I can... I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to not talk about it, I guess. But yeah, it is horrific what happened. Mainly because it did not need to happen. Uh, oh, international. Okay. So I go back to Air Alert map while I catch up with chat. Yeah, there's just because there's a huge discrepancy in the numbers, and a lot of that's because Russia faked the results. Like even the people who conducted the 1937 census were ordered to recount the population of Ukraine and only came up with like 30,000 more people. And then they were sent to gulags, work camps, and later executed because they didn't want the truth to get out. Stalin declared that that census was invalid. Um, did a later census, and it was still in like the 170 million range, or something like that. You cannot, you don't have the population growth go like up and then flatline for a couple years and then go back up for no reason. And unfortunately, there's just no definitive way to know the number of people that died because of this artificial famine. Um, yeah, unfortunately, the UN is great for wars involving the non-major powers, and unfortunately, if it's a war involving the US or Russia or China, the UN is totally useless. Technically, Kazakhstan was the last member of the USSR. So Kazakhstan is about the only country that really has a rightful claim to that seat. That's, yeah, my opinion is Kazakhstan is the rightful holder of that seat. Um, go over the air alerts. I'll start over here with Donetsk, 1 hour 44 minutes. Same with Kharkiv, an hour and 44 minutes. Sumy, 2 hours 46 minutes. Chernihiv, 2 hours 34 minutes. Kiev Oblast, 1 hour 21 minutes. And Zhytomyr, 39 minutes. Oh, Russia is starting their nightly attacks with the drones, and we're sure to see more of those coming in. Going over mainstream news. Russians capture a former British soldier. First reported about 7 hours ago. Trump wants deals on Ukraine and Israel. Here's why he'll struggle. Yeah, I'm not. If you want to read it, go to Politico. Russian missile is being analyzed by Ukraine. You know, the problem with Russia using its new missiles is now we get to inspect it and get to see what it does and what it's capable of. And you'd be amazed how much they could piece together from the debris. These are the main stories I wanted to cover today, because it's not just one commander. You see here, 6 days ago, Russian commanders arrested for exaggerating battlefield gains. This was in the Kursk region inside Russia. Another general was fired today. And then okay, well, I don't know why that was put into here, but about 12 hours ago, another Russian commander was fired for giving false reports of successes where they had failed. And it's a lot of repeating of stories that are almost a week old or more. You know, Forbes talking about the 50,000 Russians and to attack the Ukrainians in Kursk. Yeah, this is days old information, and they're just now reporting it 3 hours ago, yesterday, 14 hours ago, 9 hours ago. The attacks have been going on for almost a week. Ukraine's warriors brace for Kremlin surge in the south. Talking about the drone attacks at least. And then it just gets into, again, more old stories about Zelensky's meeting with Trump several months ago. You know, there is newer stories to cover, and they just don't do it. On that note, I want to show you a story that is kind of near and dear to me. Oh, it's in Discord. Trump ally dismisses talk of Ukraine peace deal. Senator Mike Rounds is the senator for South Dakota and the senator for my district. And I've had very good conversations with him in person and in email. He is an avid Ukraine supporter. But again, he expressed frustration that the United States hadn't given Ukraine more weapons to win the war. Oh. Let me bring this over so you... a top Senate ally of Donald Trump, Mike Rounds, poured cold water over the idea of negotiating a peace deal with Russia and Ukraine, saying the Kremlin couldn't be trusted and would see any peace proposals as a sign of Western weakness. Quoted as saying, "As much as I would like to believe we can negotiate with the tyrant, I suspect we may all be deceiving ourselves. Do you believe that this tyrant, if you offer him part of a free country, do you think he's going to stop? I wish I could say there's an easy way out. There's not." Yeah, I am thankful I have Mike Rounds as my senator. He has been very supportive of Ukraine, and as you can see from the quote, very forward with his wording. That's all I have for today. Unless you guys have any questions or comments. And yeah, Timothy Snyder has a awesome lecture series. Basically, it's a what was it, a Harvard? It's one of those Ivy League schools he was working at. And you know, paying those guys are paying for massive money to go to that university and get those lectures, and he published them all online for free. Let's see, Tim Snyder videos. Let's just go to YouTube. Okay, that's not the ones I was looking for. There you go. The Making of Modern Ukraine. So I'm going to pause it there and give you guys a link. So definitely recommend checking out his lecture series. You know, $100,000 a year lecture series for Yale course, just published online. So get your Yale education on Ukraine. You know, 23 videos, definitely worth the watch. You'll learn a lot. Okay, go ahead and ask, Andrew. That's part of why I do it. Oh, the crabs have lips? No, they don't have lips. They have little arms in front of their mouth. No lips, just little feelers. I meant to watch Bill Brower. I haven't had a chance to yet. There is so much other information out there. Give you guys an idea. ZCU official Telegram channel. It puts out a ton of stories a day. Warriors Ukrainian. I like these guys because They translate a lot of it into English and collect it from multiple sources, so I only have to look at one channel instead of 20. Deep State, I kind of just look when I want to know more about a specific direction. Zelensky, his team puts out great information every day. Covers his meetings, the grain deals, talks with dignitaries. But again, he puts out a ton of stuff a day. So in the last day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stories. Yes, goats scream. Oh my God, do they scream? At least mine did. Let's see what goat pictures I can share without having other people in them. I couldn't find 3 of my baby goats, and they were underneath. Somehow they worked themselves underneath the tub and were sleeping underneath the tub. But oh yeah, you pick these guys up when they're sleeping. Oh, and they'll scream your ear off. Yeah, go ahead and bounce back over there, KKGG, because it's. I believe we're done here. You know, 2 of the other troublemakers. This was them getting outside the fence. Let's see. Open it with VLC. Sound effects are free. So yeah, those. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love my goats. They just became very hard to take care of. Um, I'll leave it at that. It's easy. Don't get males. The males are the ones that smell. Um, just have females. Hire in a male to stud if you want kids, and then ship the male away. Very easy, but the maintenance on goats is not easy. having to trim hoofs every other month, milking, weaning, separating, and they always seem to have the babies in the coldest day of the month. You know, always in the winter, always on the coldest day, snowing, blowing. So you're out there freezing your butt off in a winter coat, trying to lay on the ground to, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of joy, but it's a lot of work. Oh, good to see the air alerts in that area have dropped off. Yeah, all you have to do is think about it. When women sweat, people say they glisten. When men sweat, oh, you stink, go take a shower. Yeah. It's the same with goats. And if you ever try giving a dog a bath, multiply the difficulty level by like 10 at least for a goat. They hate water worse than cats. And on that note, I am going to call the stream there. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate you being here. I especially appreciate the support for Ukraine that everybody shares. Have a good night. Stay safe. And of course, Razom de Pereможемо, together until victory. Because together is the only way we can do it.
Czajka